A very good afternoon, everyone. This is Yogendra from FOSC. Uh, Hope you can hear me. Can you please confirm if you can hear me, all the faculty members, researchers, scholars? Okay, so now I started getting a lot of notifications. People are raising hands. Okay, Harpreet Kaur, Himanshu Shroti, Kanika Garg. Okay, Bulbul Mewara. Okay, a lot of people. Thank you. Dr. Bhamra. Chandra, Naveen Chauhan. Okay, a lot of people, but I can name only a few of them. Okay. Yeah, Vaibhav from Manipal is there. So, now I think we can start for the right uh, day 2 program, right? And so, okay, let's start and see the things, right? So, as we discussed yesterday, right? Uh, this is a faculty development program, a dedicated program, right? A dedicated program for faculty members across India, and a couple of them are, outside India as well, and research scholars, the guys who are doing their PhD in the computer science domain, right? Or specifically in the domain of machine learning. So this is a 5 days program, right? And uh, I yesterday I discussed the agenda for every day, right? So on the day one, if you remember all the faculty members, what we discussed yesterday, that was around the basic Python, right? So Python basic, were there. And if you remember from yesterday's discussion, right? What we discussed. So, guys, all faculty members, can you quickly send me a chat, a reply that what was covered yesterday, what was the takeaway? So, Harpreet Kaur saying, so data type was there, list was there, Nihal saying strings were there, Kunal saying, okay, Rekha Sharma also saying, Brighty saying looping, okay, indexing, someone says indexing, someone says input, someone saying how to use the spider, while loop, slicing, conditions. Okay, that's good. Data types, typecasting. A lot of people. Okay, so I'm happy that people. Okay, uh, they can still remember. Okay, Dr. Nancy Arya saying it was a casting. Okay. Viplip Sharma also putting a lot of informations around that. Okay, so thank you, right? Thanks for responding. Uh, if you like, I can quickly go through around that we started, right? We started that how you can import a library in the Python, right? So the import was there. Then we talk about that how you can take the input from the user. While discussing about the import, I also discussed that how you can get to know that what is the list of functions available, right? So then you have a dir method available. And then if you want to know the specifics of any particular function, you can go for the help method, right? So input was there. The specific thing around the input was that it always reads the data in str format, right? It always reads the data in str format. And while making a program where we were printing pass or fail, right, based on the marks, we had to typecast the data into an integer format, right? So if you remember from that part, we were using if else, right? So we put the condition, then we have this part, then you have the print statement here, then you have an else colon, then you have the print statement here, right? So if else was there, and then if this if else was put under a while loop as well, right? So now you can see that we use the while loop, and how to come out of this loop, how to terminate this loop, then we use the concept of a break, right? If you remember, that was the condition, if not str1, right? If not str1, that means if string is blank, string has no data in it, then you are going to break from the loop. And what does the break actually, terminates your loop execution, right? So that's how you use the while loop, and we also understood how to make use of a break. And if you remember, then we talked about uh, you know uh, string operations as well, right? We understood that how you can use, slicing concept, indexing concept, right? So str1, it is the name of your string, and then you have to specify the start index, and then colon, and then you have to specify the end index. And if you remember, end is not included, but start is included, right? So that was the concept here. And then we have a concept of a negative indexing as well. So then we use the -1 to get the last text, right? Last character, or last alphabet, or last letter from the string, right? If you remember, guys, from that part. Then we moved to a data structure. If you remember, we moved to a data structure, and the name of that data structure was list, right? So how do we declare a list? So list 1 is equal to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is a list, right? When we were discussing the strings, we had a very, a clear-cut understanding that strings are always read only. Strings are always read only. Once initialized, you cannot change. And the stuff, the object, right, which are read only in Python, they are called as immutable. We call them as immutable, right? Immutable means read only, right? Read only, right? And while discussing the list, we got to know that list can be modified, right? It can be modified. And if it can be modified, we can append a value, we can append data, right? We can insert a new value, we can remove from that list. So couple of operations we can apply on the list. And while understanding the list as well, we also understood that how you can use a for loop. And in Python, what we call for loop as a for each loop, right? And a couple of things were there around. And if you remember that concept also, that lists are heterogeneous, right? That means you can have different uh, uh, items with a different data types. You can have multiple items, and each item can be of a different data type, right? So I think that was the case around those discussions. And now I think we can take a couple of remaining things from the Python, and then we'll talk about the data analytics today, because in today's discussion we are going to have a more focus, right? So day 2 is primarily for data analytics. I will define that what is data analytics, and then we'll do a couple of hands-on around that as well, right? So all the faculty members, do you copy me? Do you copy me that yes, that was the discussion yesterday, and now we are going towards the data analytics. But before that, we are going to cover a couple of more topics in Python. Okay, a lot of people raising their hands and texting me in the chat window as well. Lipika Devangan, okay. Abdul Nasir, okay, cool. Okay. So, and Sunil Dhankar from SKIT. Welcome, Sunil. So now we are, in day 2 now, and now I'll see a couple of things in the Python. So let me increase the font a little bit. Okay, guys, now let's start. Yesterday we declared a list. We defined a list in this way: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? And this is our list. If we want to know how many items it has, right, we can directly call the method alien, which will let us know that how many items it has. And len was the same method which we used to calculate the length of a string as well, right? So it's a kind of a global function in Python, right? So we are using len. It will let you know the length of any object. So currently we are using it for the list purpose. Indexing is also allowed in case of a list, right? So that was the concept, right? And now you can see if I specify the index 0, it is going to give me the first element from the list, right? So that you can see, and the negative indexing is applied as well here. So I can say if I want to access the last element from the list, right? So if I say -1, the output should be 5, and that you can see in the console, that you can see on the console, right? So let me increase the font a little bit on the console as well. So that was the case, right? And now let's do one practical. Let's do one hands-on around that, right? And what is that? I have this list. Okay, fine. Now what I want to calculate, right? I want to calculate the square of every item in the list 1, right? And have the output in the form of a list only. Okay, what I'm saying, let me repeat again. List 1 has a couple of items from 1 to 5. I want to calculate the square value of each item, and the output should be in form of a list. So what should be the output? The output should be like this. So I'm putting a comment here, then I'm using a square bracket, and I'm saying that what is the square of 1? It is 1. The square of 2, it is 4. The square of 3, it is 9. The square of 4, it is 16. The square of 5, it is 25. So I want output in this format, right? How to do this? Okay, let's see. You see, I have this list. Can I go through a loop and print every item from the list? Now this is known to me. We did it yesterday, right? So how to do that? I can use a for each loop. So how to do that? For each item in list 1, colon, and then what I'm saying, print item, right? A print item. Okay, let's do this. Now you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, can I print the square values? Yes, I can print the square values. If I multiply item with the item, so I can print the square values as well. So now using a loop, I'm printing the square of every item in the list 1. But this is not my requirement. I want output in this format, in a list format, right? But right now I'm getting only, the square values on the console. What I can do in that case? Maybe I can do one thing. I take a empty list. So I'm taking another list with the name list 2, and I'm initializing it to a blank. So no items as of now. And now while running this loop, I will not print the square values. Rather than I will replace this print statement with one statement that we already know, list2.append, right? And if you know from the yesterday discussion, guys, append was doing one thing. It was adding the item. It was adding the value at end, right? So now you can see, right? If I select this, right? Right? What will happen? It will run, and now see what comes in the list 2. So please focus on the console, and there you see, right? List 1, right? So that's how you take it, right? That's how you take it. So first you have to take this list 1, right? Shift enter, right? Or F9, and then you can do this part, and then you are happy that you got your output in the list. Okay, is that clear, everyone? Please respond if you can. Give me a feedback. Yes, this is clear, that how we can do it. It's pretty much easy, right? If you understand that. Thanks, Dr. Deepshika. And thank you, people, responding, right? Yeah. Dr. Sarfaraz Masood is also there. Okay. Okay. Now see one more thing, a very interesting part on Python. See, I can do the same stuff with a shortcut way as well. I can do this in a shortcut way as well, right? So this was kind of a version 1. So I can, comment it as version 1. And now I'm going to, write the version 2 for same problem statement, right? I'm going to rewrite, right, the version 1 in a shortcut way, but the output would be the same. How to do that? Okay, now let's see, guys, right? I use a square bracket, and that you can see. Within the square bracket, I write the for each loop. How to write that? For each item and list 1. Okay, fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, now what to do with the item? I want the square of every item. Okay, fine. That expression I will write just before 4, and I will say item into item. Okay, now see. Item into item, right? So read it like this. Initially, I had a square bracket which was completely blank. Then I added a for loop in it for each item in list 1. And now what to do with the item that I have written just before 4. And now let's select it and see the output. You see, is this the same output what we used to do with the loop in the version 1? This is the version 2 part. Did you understand that how we have written a very shortcut way of, this part, right? This is not a recursion. This is not recursion. This is a loop mechanism, and the specific name, right? Specific name for this shortcut is called as list comprehension. We call this approach as list comprehension. This is list comprehension, right? Okay, I'll take one more example, and that will make things more clear around that. Okay, what I can do, I can assign the output in some variable as well. So let's say list 3 is equal to this. So what will happen? The output will come into the list 3, not on the console. So now you see, right? Now you see, you don't see the output, right? But the output is in list 3, right? So that is there, right? Okay. Now, I'll take one more example to explain this, right? So this time I say list 1 is equal to, right? List 1 is equal to couple of names in this. So I'm using Amar, okay? Second item as Akbar, and the third item as Anthony, right? So these are the 3 strings in the list 1. So there are 3 items, and every item is a string, right? That you can see I have used a single quote. And now you understand in Python, whether you use a single quote or whether you use a double quote, everything is a string, right? So here we have the list 1, which holds 3 strings into that. Now, what is my requirement? So let's move it a little upper. So now, what is my requirement? All the faculty members. I want to know the length of every name in the list 1. What I want to know the length of every name in the list 1. Can I do it using a for loop? Yes, I can do that. How to do that? For each item. So rather than using item, I will say for each name and list 1. I can have any name here. I can use item, I can use X, I can use Y. I'm using name right now. So for each name in list 1, what to do? Print name, right? So it will print all of the names, right? But that's not my requirement. What I want the length, right? So I will make a change here. Rather than printing the name directly, I will say print the length of the name, right? So it will now print me the length. Okay. So I get the length, but again, this is not my requirement. What was my requirement? I want all of these values, 4, 5, and 7 in form of a list again. So I will use another list 2, which is initially blank now. And I will make a little change here. Rather than using the print statement, what I'm supposed to write here now, list 2, that is my empty list as of now. And I'm going to append the length of the name. And here you see, you get this, right? Oh. There is error. Okay, what is error? Typo was there. I did not have. So now you can see list 2, and now you have list 2 as well. 4, 5, 7. Can I, using this for loop, I'm okay. I can do that, and I understand that part. Can I replace this with a list comprehension? Can I replace this with a list comprehension, right? Okay, how to do that using a list comprehension? So what I'm writing now is a list comprehension, okay? How to do that? For that, we are going to use a square bracket, and then what I'm writing, for loop, for each name list 1, right? This is exactly what we used in line number 31. And now before 4, what you just need to put, what you want to calculate. We want to calculate the length. So I take this from here and paste it here and make a space. So now you can see how to read it. For each name in the list 1, what to calculate? The length, right? So here we get the output. Guys, is that clear now, that how you can write a list comprehension in this way, right? And this is not recursion. It's just a shortcut way of doing it, in a looping way, right? Okay. And now one more interesting stuff around that, and then we'll move to the next topic. Let me take interesting list this time. So this time I have a list something like that. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3. 2, right? Yes, Harpreet, sometimes it happens. Okay, there is one announcement, guys. Sometimes when I say list 1, right, and I select it, I'm able to see the output. But in couple of cases at your end, it may not happen. In that case, what you have to do, just use the print statement. If you're not getting the output on the console, just use the print statement, right? So sometimes the version of the spider, right, may cause this problem. Right now, I'm using the latest version, but if you are on the older version, right, just use the print statement if you're not getting anything on the console, right? And that will make the things happen. Okay, so we were on this list. So right now, we are declaring a list which has a couple of items into this. So I have 3, and then, I have 4, and then, let's 3 again. So now you have a list, right? And now, here you have a couple of integer values into this, right? What I'm supposed to do here, I want to remove, right? I want to remove all the occurrences of value 3. What is the problem? Let me write here. Remove all the occurrences, right, of value 3. I want to remove all the 3. So I want to remove this 3. I want to remove this 3 as well, and this 3 as well. How I can do that? One approach I can see as a programmer, right, as a beginner, one approach I can see is that I should count that how many times you have 3 in the list 1, right? I should count that how many times you have got 3 in the list. How to do that? I can come to know a function list1.count. There is a method in the list. And if you say 3 here, it will give you that how many times you have got 3 in the list 1. So if I run this, it says that 3 is 3 times there. Okay, fine. How many times? Let's say 2 is there. So I will write this way. Let me know how many times 2 has been there, right? So now you see it is there for 2 times, right? So kind of that. Okay, let me remove this part. So now this is giving me that how many times you have 3 on the list. And if I know that it has occurred for 3 times, can I run a statement like this? List1.remove 3. It will remove the first 3, right? So it will remove this 3. Okay, and now after that, you can see what is in the list 1 now. You can see, the first occurrence of 3 is removed. Okay, Let me call the list1.remove again and pass the same value. This will remove the second occurrence of 3. So now you see, now you have only one, a 3 left. So again, I can call a list1.remove and then 3. And now you see, this time, do you see, now there is no 3 in my list. So what I did, I checked that how many times the 3 is there in the list, and correspondingly I called list1.remove, list1.remove, and list1.remove. Is this a very good idea? I don't think so. It's a very good idea, right? What we can do? Can we do it through a loop? Yeah, we can do it through a loop, right? How to do that? Okay, we can rewrite the same piece of code in a different manner. It's a very good use of a while loop. Now see this while. Okay, we are again on the while loop. While 3 in the list 1, and now you can see this is the condition that as long as we are getting 3 in the list, right, this loop should run, right? So now we have this, and within the loop, what we'll do, we'll just say remove 3. So keep on removing the item 3 from the list 1 as long as you have 3 in the list 1, right? So this is the way, right? And this is in is a operator here. We call this operator as a membership function. So basically this checks whether 3 is there in the list 1 or not, right? So this is there, right? So as long as you have 3 in the list 1, you are going to remove the item using a loop. Okay, what was that? It is invalid syntax. Why? It is giving me. Oh. Okay, let me take that list if there is some problem. Okay, I'll do that part here. Okay. Then
remove the, sir.
Okay. I made it wrong, right? So Jitendra Singh Kushwa, thank you. So so while 3 in list 1, and now you have this, right? So this is the list 1. So is it a better idea? Is it a better idea? Okay, there is one more announcement, guys. You have used a while loop here, right? And a lot of people are asking that can we do the same using a for loop? Yes, we can do using a for loop, right? But it's not a very good idea to use a for loop here, right? You use a for loop here, right? So why I'm saying like that? Generally, right, you have to understand that where to use the for loop and where to use the while loop, right? So loops are of 2 types in any programming language. Loops are of 2 types in any programming language, right? And what are those? Let me tell you. If you run through the loops, right, so you will always find 2 types of loop in any programming language, right? One is known as definite loop, and other one is indefinite loop, right? So when you talk about the definite loop, right, when you talk about the definite loop, it is going to run for fixed number of times. Okay, this loop is run for 5 times or 3 times or 4 times or whatever. And in that case, we use for each loop in Python. But if you don't know how long your loop is going to run, right, in that case, we use a while loop. So we don't know, right, how many 3s are there in the list 1. I have no count. I'm not going for that method, right? In that case, what is the best way? The best way is to go for the while loop. And similarly, if you remember what we were doing yesterday, we were just making while true, right? And we were asking for the marks from the user. And based on the marks, we were printing pass or fail, right? So we don't know how long this loop is going to run. So rather than going for a for loop, the while loop is the best loop here, right? While loop is the best loop here. But when I was using the list, I know how many times, the loop is going to run if I'm going to print the items in the list or calculating the square values in the list, right? In that case, for loop is a good idea, because now this is a case of a definite iteration, not an indefinite iteration. Here, while loop is not a very good choice. The for each loop is a good choice here. So I think you got the idea, all the members, faculty members, that how we decide where to use while and where to use for. So Shameli R is saying, so it was a nice explanation. Purva Vaishnav saying nice information. Thank you. So Kunal Anand is also saying the same. Thanks, Kunal. Yeah, you are right. So we have got this. Okay, now let's go for another stuff. Right. And now this time we are going to talk about a new data structure in Python. This time we are going to talk about a new data structure in Python, and that data structure is known as dictionary. That is dictionary, right? And what is the use of dictionary? That we have to understand, right? What is the use of a dictionary? That we have to understand. So let's say there is a boy, right? Or there is a student, let's say, right? Let's make it, gender neutral. So there is a student, right? And who is in, let's say, class 12, right? And he has appeared for a, a competitive exam, right? He has appeared for a competitive exam, right? And he has scored, in physics, so in physics he has scored, let's say, in this physics he has scored, let's say, 56 marks. In the chemistry he has scored, let's say, 67 marks, and in maths he has scored, let's say, 45, right? So this is the case. So there is a student who has appeared for a competitive exam, took 3 exams, physics, chemistry, and math, and this is the score, right? How can we store this kind of information in Python, where I need the name of the subject and I need the marks in that as well? Okay, so there are actually 2 ways, right? Actually there are 2 informations, right? One case is where I need to store the name of subject, and another case is I need to store the corresponding marks as well, right? How I can do this in a Python? And for this purpose, this kind of a purpose, right, we have a very, a suitable data structure, and that data structure is known as dictionary. How we can write that? How we can do that? Okay, let's do that way. Okay, so I'm using curly braces. Okay, this is a curly brace. Fine. And now within the curly brace, how I'm going to represent the information? Let's have a look, guys. First, I'm going to write the name of subject in a string format. So now I say physics. Fine. After that, I'm putting a colon, and after that, I will put the marks. So that is 56, and then I add a comma. I press enter. Now I add another subject. So this time subject is chemistry. I'll keep it as as a string, and then right, you have a column here, and then I say 67 here, right? I put another comma here. I go for the last record, and this time I'm going to say maths, right? And then I have a column, and then I say 45, right? And now this is the representation what we were looking for, right? This is the representation what we're looking for. Let's give the name to this record. Let's give the name to this, kind of representation. I will say dict1 is equal to this. Now, let's run this. So I select it, run it, and now let's check for the type. Let's check for the type. What is the type here? I will name it dict1 and see the type, guys. It's dict, right? Dict stands for dictionary. short form of a dictionary, right? Now see what I have done. This is the one, key value pair in the dictionary. So before column, what you write is known as key. After the column, what write is a value. And then we have a second key a key value pair. The key is can and the value is 67. And then we have the third key value pair as well, right? And and then we are putting it in a curly braces, under a curly brace, and this is called a dictionary. This is called a dictionary. And if you are from a background where Vaibhav says they look like, right? Vaibhav Bhatnagar from Manipal University, Jaipur says that this looks like associative array. Yes, they are associative array kind of stuff. And in Python, we call them as dictionary, right? And now, right? And now, I want to know a couple of information from this data structure. So guys, what I have done, I have used the dictionary data structure to store this kind of information, right? Where the subject has become a key, right? Yes, Arpita, you're right. The subject's name has become a key and the corresponding scores are in the values in the dict, right? And now there is an interesting story around that. I want to know what are the marks in physics. I want to know that. What are the marks in physics? How will get that score? So I need to first name of my dictionary, that is dict1. I will use a square bracket. Within the square bracket, I have to specify the subject name, the key I have to specify. So let's say I specify physics. So that becomes my key. And if I select it, you will see the corresponding values in the output. So I get the marks here, right? And similarly, I can get a marks for other subject as well. How to do that? Now it is simple for me. Maths. Okay. So this is how you got the 45, right? Now, if you have any questions, guys, please keep it for the doubt session. We will answer everybody's question, right? Sometimes we do take the questions in between, but that is very, isolated cases are there only. Most of the question answer session, right, comes, when we are finishing up with the session, right? So please be patient and have your question written somewhere on the notebook and you can ask it later on. And we'll try to answer, right? We try to answer every question you ask. If we leave that question, that is very unintentional, very unintentional. And if you say that your question is not asked, you may, re-ask that question. You may put that question back in the chat window. That is completely fine, right? Because sometimes there are so many questions, and it is very, natural that you may leave it, right? Now, I made a mistake, actually, right? I made a mistake. Marks in the math were not 45. Actually, they were 54, right? So rather than, 45, marks were actually 54. But my dictionary says that your marks are 45. I can print the dictionary here as well, dict1. Right? And there you can see physics 56, right? Right? And the can, and then, this, and 67, and the math, right? See this? I can make a change. I can make a change here, right? Now see what I do. Dict1, I say maths, and now I use assignment operator, and I would say 54. This will change the value in your dictionary for math from 45 to 54. So now you see, and now I print the dict1. So now you got the maths 54. That means you can change the dictionary. You can change the dictionary, right? And that means it is a mutable data structure, right? It is mutable, right? Like list, you can modify the dictionary as well, right? Okay. Can I only get to know the name of the keys. Okay, mind it, keys are always unique. Keys cannot be duplicate. Keys cannot be a duplicate, right? So you have to make it very clear that keys are always unique. Values can be repetitive, right? There can be the values can be duplicate. That's not a issue. I want to know the names of the keys only. How to do that? Dict1 dot keys. It will give me the list of keys only in my dictionary. And there you see I get physics only, chemistry only, and maths only. Similarly, I can get to know dict1 dot values. It will give me only the values from the dict1. There you see 56, 67, and 54, right? So that is the case. Now I have a question for you, right? I have a question for you, right? That let's say I have a string str1 is equal to, right? I write something like that www.google.com, right? So there, this is the string, right? And now from that string, I want information. And Yashoda Kutana, please, listen to me. This is a string. And what I want to know that how many times W has come into this string. How many times G has come into this string? How many times O has come into this string? How many times L has come into this string? How many times C? How many times M has come into this string, right? How can I represent that kind of information? That I'm going for kind of a frequency count for each letter. Frequency count for each letter. How many times W is there? How many times G is there? How many times O is there? L is there? E is there? C is there? And M is there. What do you suggest that how we can represent this information using a list or using a dictionary? What kind of how we can do that? Yashoda Kotana, now I think you should understand that if you want to show this kind of information, you have to use dictionary, right? Can we write a piece of code, right? Can we write a piece of code that will give me the frequency count of every letter that is into str1? That is into str1. Can I write? Okay, let's try to write that. And you will understand the very good use of a dictionary. And after that, we will move to the data analytics part. So we have str1 is equal to this, right? Let me take a dictionary which is initially blank. So now how to declare a blank dictionary? This is no key value pair in this, nothing. There is, it is completely blank there. Okay. Now, how I'm going to represent the required information? I will do one thing. I will take unique character, each character from the string, and I will make that character or letter as a key. And how many times it has come into that string, I will make it as value, right? If you understand that, right? How many times, right, it has come. So let's say W is there. So W has come 3 times. So how will make it? I will make W as a key and 3 as a value. And similarly, doing the same stuff for rest of the, letters only. So how to do that? Okay, let's do one thing. Let's try to read one letter at a time from the str1. How to do that? I can run a loop. So for each, item in str1. So for each item in str1. Okay, fine. Now, right? Now see guys, right? Now I'm going for a if condition. If, right, item not in dict1. See what I'm doing now. I'm running a loop, for loop. What I'm doing this for each item in str1, right? And now within that loop, what I'm doing, if item not in the dict1, I'm saying if item is not already into the dict1, if it is not into the dict1 already, I will add it into the dictionary. So I will say dict1, I will make it as key. And because, this is for the first time, I'm adding this item into the dictionary. For the first time, I'm adding this item into the dictionary. I will set the frequency count to 1. Okay, let's understand that, why I'm doing this. As this loop runs, for the first time, you will see item is equal to W, right? We are here. If W not in dict1, yes, dict1 is empty as of now, there is nothing. That means W is not there. I will add W as a key into the dict1. And what should be the value? The value, because this is for the first time, right? This is the W has come for the first time. I will set the value to W1. And now let's run this loop, guys. Okay, let's run this loop. And there you see what comes into the dict1. Oh, I got all the letters. I got W, I got dot, I got G, I got O, L, E, C, M, everything I got, right? But you see, there is a case here that for every letter, the count is coming just 1. For every letter, the value is coming just 1. But W is 3 times there, G is 2 times there, O is 2 times there. How come? Why have not why this information is not there? Because that part is not handled in the program, right? That part is not handled in the program. What I can do just one more thing. That would be the last item to do in this. If item is already there, what happens in that case? Because so far we are only considering a case that if item is not there, we are going to add it, right? What happens if item is already there? That means we have to go into the else part. So now we will go to the else part. And if item is already there, we just need to increment the value. We just need to increase the value by just 1. And how to do that? I can, have a value. It will give me the value, right? I'm going to add +1 into this, and I'm going to assign again this value to corresponding key. So this is the complete code, right? So that was the case which will handle if your item is coming for the first time in the dictionary. And this will be the case if item is already added. In that case, you just need to increase the value count by 1, right? And this is how, see now, guys, dict1. And this time we are at right location, right, place. W is 3 times. Dot is like, this, right? So this is the case. Okay, how many of you understood this concept? Please let me know. How many of you, right? If there is any issue, I will repeat it. Is it a good way that how you can use a dictionary? I think there was a guy, Professor Nehar Roy, I think. He has shared the code as well with me. Okay, Satna Chaudhary saying yes, I understood. Poonam Yadav, okay. Kunal Anand saying nicely explained. Okay. So now let me repeat just way now. See how I started this the concept, right? How I told you that what could be the real time use case of a dictionary. So and that way I started with a concept that let's say you have a string. It can be any random string, right? For the explanation purpose, I have used www.google.com. You can have anything, right? Even you can take this from the input. So rather than having your own string, you can just say input, not right. So this is there, and now we want to know, right? We want to print that. Let me know how many times W is there, how many times G is there, how many times O is there. And just to have that kind of output, we are using a dictionary mechanism. So initially dictionary is completely blank, right? And now, right, we are going through a loop on the string. So for each item in str1, right, if item is not into the dictionary, we are going to add that item as a key and setting the value to 1, right? And if the item is already added to the dictionary, we are going to increase the value just by 1. Priyanka Nair, ma'am, right? So this is the kind of case there, right? Okay, can I do this in a other way? I can do this in another way as well, right? I can do this another way as well. A simplified version, but that is not very optimized. A simplified version, but that is not very optimized, right? For each item in str1, right, I say, without using any if condition and all, I say dict1, I make item as the key and set the value as what? str1 dot count. And count of what? Item, right? So there you see. Again, we should get the output and now see the dict1, right? So this is also one of the way, but this is not very optimized. That is very not optimized. Why it is not optimized? Because let's say, right, you are running the for loop. So for the first time item will have W, right? And you are counting the W, so it will give the 3. So in the first beginning only, it has set the value to 3. Again, the loop learns you have a W again, it will again check for the count. Again, you have a W in the third repetition. Again, you are going to check for the count. So every time you are asking for the count, and that will make your logic to travel the entire string, right? So that is not a very good idea, that every time you are traveling the entire string to get the count, right? Why to do that? It will for a larger string, this program is going to perform very, very poorly. The time complexity is large, high in this case. Right? Yes, Sarfaraz, you can do that. So guys, is that clear? Right? How I started with the dictionary kind of example, that let's say we want to have this kind of a representation in the data structure where we want to keep the subject name as a key and the score, corresponding score as a value. And then I introduce you the concept of a dictionary, right? And how we can get the specific, the values. For that, we have to specify the keys. So if we specify the key physics, we will get the corresponding marks from the physics, right? And if you do this dict1.keys, it will give all the keys in your dictionary, right? And if you do dict1.values, it will give all the values in your dictionary, right? So that was the case. So guys, how is it so far? Is it going good for you? Are you with me? Khalsa College, okay. Okay, so how is the Jose? If I go for Uri kind of statement, how is the Jose, huh? Sarfaraz Basu saying, hi sir. Dr. Dinesh saying, interesting. Jaya Gangwani from JIT Jodhpur saying, yeah. Okay. Okay, Vadvan saying, hi sir. Sonal from Delhi saying, hi, excellent. Okay. Sadha Pasha saying, sir, I'm with you. Okay. Dr. Alok Ranjan Tripathi saying, excellent. Okay. Sunil Dhankar saying, sir, why for loop is not good? No, Sunil, it is not like that. If you want to run for a definite time, go for loop, right? And if you have no idea that how many times your loop is going to run, right? You have no idea. कब तक चलेगा? जब तक condition true है, तब तक loop चलता रहेगा, right? In that way, you have no count that how many times it is going, right? So in that case, Sunil, you should use the while loop, right? You should use the while loop, Sunil, right? So this is the case. Okay, now we are moving ahead, right? Now we are moving ahead, and now we'll talk about, yeah, Lipika, it is there, but that concept is like, when you talk about object-oriented programming in Python, then you have that concept, right? But in the basic Python, we are not going to cover the object-oriented programming concept. concepts. Bye. Yeah, we can manipulate the data inside dictionary. They can be modified. So Ashish. Okay. So now let's move on to a new topic now, right? Let's move on to a new topic now. And what is that? The topic name is data analytics. Topic name is data analytics. Okay, what is that? So actually there are a couple of terms and I will explain all of those terms in tomorrow's discussion, not today, right? So I will explain you what is ML, what is DL, what is, uh, AI, right? What is data engineering, what is data pipeline, what is big data. I will explain all those terms. What is data science, right? I will explain them tomorrow, right? And now today we are going to focus on a very specific term, what the data analytics is. So let me first give you the example, what the data analytics is, and then we will discuss or like do a couple of hands-on around the data analytics, right? Okay, now please everybody focus on what I say to you, right? So, hear me please. And the example is like that. Uh, let's say uh, you are a training placement officer of your college or university, let's say, okay? You are a training placement officer. And there are a couple of members who work under you or with you in your team, right? And now your director sir, or let's say principal sir or VC sir, calls you for a meeting. Okay, so gentlemen, please come to my room, right? And then when you go there and meet the VC, right? The VC has a couple of questions for you. The VC is actually new in that university and he is meeting you for the first time, let's say, right? And he puts a couple of questions to you, right? And the questions would be like this, that gentlemen, can you let me know that for past 10 years, right, what is the placement count year wise? That is the first question from the VC to the placement officer. That can you let me know what is the placement count year on year for last 10 years, right? Okay, can you give me that what was the year where we had the maximum placements? Can you give me the year where we had the minimum placements, lowest ones? Can you give me a detail that which branch, which major, right, does, the best in terms of placements? Which one branch, does the poor, right? Can you give me a data which gives that what was the average placement year on year? What was the highest package so far? What was the lowest package so far? Can you give me a detail that the guys from the rural background are more successful in the placement activities in our campus, or the people from the, the rural background, right? Does communication, plays an important role into that? As a TPO, as a placement officer, can you answer all those questions, right? Can you answer all those questions to the VC? If you have the data, can you answer that? If you have managed the entire year wise data in an Excel sheet, I think you can easily answer such questions, right? If you have an Excel, right? If you have an Excel data and using the data from the Excel sheet, you can answer all of these questions very easily, right? You can answer, placements year on year. You can answer the maximum package, minimum package. You can answer the branch wise performance. You can answer, the a specific school wise, or a kind of that, or urban or rural kind of analysis, right? Whatever the questions the VC has asked, All questions belong to data analytics category. This is the data analytics, right? When you try to write a code, when you try to write a piece of code that can answer such questions, that can represent your data in graphical format, right? That is how you can visualize that, you know, all of these activities come under the category of data analytics. Guys, did you get it? What the data analytics is? Okay, Dr. Deepsika Agarwal, Dr. Arpita Banerjee, okay, Ramuti Naidu, Sagar Saikia, okay, yeah. This is data, and this may happen everywhere, right? Maybe you can visit a math department, right? A department which stores the weather data. You can go there and check for such kind of details, that what was the rainfall year on year, right? What was the year where you had the minimum, you know, rainfall, maximum rainfall? Can I have a rainfall data distribution based on the district or based on the state, you know, based on the city, right? So this is the way, right? This is the way you can perform the data analytics. And right, sometimes the data analytics, you know, sometimes people call it as ETL activities as well: extract, transform, and load. Extract the data, that means you have to read the data, right? And sometimes data may not be in a format which gives you the direct answers, so you might have to transform that data from one format to another, right? And once your data is into the right format, right, to the VC, to the principal, to your boss, you know, it's better to represent that data in a graphical format, to visualize that data, right? So kind of that extract, transform, and load kind of activities, right? So that is, you know, sometimes people got as the data wrangling as well, you know, sometimes people got as the data wrangling kind of stuff, right? So visualizing your data, right, in a graphic format, right? So all of these activities are actually data analytics, and there are three primary libraries in Python to do this. The library, right, are Pandas, Numpy, and Matplotlib. What are the uses? Pandas is used to load the data. Load the data, transform the data. Load the data, transform the data. There is a library called Pandas. Okay. Sometimes you have to perform some mathematical operations on the data. For the mathematical operations, you will have to use this library Numpy. Numpy stands for numerical Python. Some people call it as a NumPy. Some people call it as a Numpy. Okay, name, you know, doesn't matter here. It is numerical Python. Mathematical functionalities are there in this library, right? And the matplotlib is there. This library, this library is used for the graphical representation of the data, right? So using Pandas, you are going to load the data. Using Numpy, you are going to perform a couple of mathematical operations on that if required. And Matplotlib, you're going to represent your data in graphical format. Guys, did you get it? That how you can use, you know, couple of libraries that I mentioned here for the data analytics purpose. Actually, data analytics in the industry started, you know, long back. And initially, the tool, the programming language that was used to perform analytics was SAS. SAS was the tool, primary tool to do that, right? The SAS was there, and then after the SAS, there was a new language called R, capital R. It is still being used, right? But in last couple of, you know, 2-3 years, what we have observed in the industry, that now people are moving from R, and Python has de facto. It is the language now, right? The data analytics के लिए Python को use करें. So it was like SAS, then we had R, then the Python, and the future, maybe there is a new language coming up. Maybe after 2-3 years, when we have a new FDP for you, we will be talking about a new language called Julia. There is a new language, Julia, right? So you can use R as well. You can use Python as well, right? And if you have downloaded and installed the Anaconda Navigator, and if you launch the Anaconda Navigator, there is a a launch button for R Studio as well, guys. In your Anaconda Navigator only, you have the tool to write code in R. R Studio is there in Anaconda Navigator. If you have seen it, there is, right? So you can use the R Studio as well, right? So so this is the way, guys. So can we start now and do some practical stuff around that? Can we start with that part? Okay, good, right. So now let's see and go ahead here in our, right. So now, no Vishal, not needed, right? So let's do one thing. From yesterday's discussion and discussion so far, right? Discussion so far, what happens, guys? We generally store data in the list, right? We generally store the data in the list. So let's say you have a list. This is the example, right? You have a list here. And you know that the type of this is, you can know the type as well, right? Now see, guys, everybody, please listen to me. And there is an important thing coming up, right? That if you have a large amount of data in the list, right? If you have a large amount of data in the list, right? Performing a loop mechanism on that, performing some looping activity on the list will take, too much of time. Okay, if you have just 10 elements, 100 elements, 50 elements, right? Keeping your data in a list format is okay. No issue with that, right? Right? That is okay. But when you have, thousands of entries, lakhs of entries in the list, dealing that data, performing any operation on the list using a loop will become a nightmare for you. It will become a nightmare for you. And then you have to think that how I can fix this problem. Can I have a something, in my hand where I can quickly perform the operations on the data which is in my list, and the data is this time is a very large data. The data is into a large amount now, right? And for that purpose, right? For that purpose now, if you have seen, Ramayana or Mahabharata, right? Recently on the Doordarshan, everybody talks about Divyastra, right? If you want to win the war, you have to have the Divyastra, right? So Krishna says to Arjuna that go for Divyastra, right? And while traveling from Ayodhya to deep in the Sri Lanka, wherever the Ram goes and meets the rishis and sants, right? Everybody blesses him with a Divyastra, right? So he gets lots of Divyastra before he fights or has a war with the Ravan. And similarly, actually we have 3 Divyastra to do data analytics. The first Divyastra that we are going to talking about is Numpy, right? That if you are unable to perform operations on the list data, you can convert this list into a Numpy array. You can, use Numpy functionalities to perform fast operations on that data. Did you guys understand the philosophy that why I'm going to use Numpy now? Why the urgency of using Numpy now? Did you get this idea? First, you have to understand the philosophy, because I'm not going to discuss too much around every function, right? I will just give you the philosophy, and that is good enough for you to attend and continue the entire FDP by FOSC, right? Okay, so I got the issue with this list. How I can, take this list into the Numpy world? How I can, take this, so currently see this, guys. Okay, let me tell it again, right? See this, what we are doing. If you remember from that, right? If you remember from that purpose, yesterday I told you that you use input method, right, to read the values, right? Right? You use input method to read the data from the user, fine, right? And then what you can do, using a while loop, right? And inside the while loop, using an input method, you can take multiple values, right? Read multiple values from the user. And what you can do, while reading the data using an input method in a while loop, you can append those values into a list, right? So after doing this, your entire data that was given by the user comes into the list now. So now you have a list, right? So your data comes out into the list. So I'm started from a way that you are using an input method. Input method will read some value, let's say in a str format, but you can convert and typecast it into integer. But using input for the one time will give you the one value from the user only. But now you need multiple values from the user. How we can do that? We can go for a loop. So this time I'm using a while loop. Inside the while loop, what I will do, I will run for our input method. That input method will read a value. I will append that value immediately into a list, right? So once the while loop is over, I will get all the values in my list like this, right? But now I'm talking about that if your list has a large amount of data, it is not going to perform well, right? It will take a lot of time. And to solve this problem of taking, too much time, we are going to convert this list into a Numpy array now. Now we are going to use the Numpy methods to perform the operations on the data. And this is how I'm going to do it now. So what I'm going to do, first I'm going to import the Numpy library. So import Numpy as NP. So this may be the new. We are importing the library Numpy, right? And, right? After importing it, we'll use this library as NP. So I will use the NP name everywhere wherever I write or I use the Numpy library. So this is how I import my library. And now I'm going to typecast or convert my list data, right? Yeah, Tarun, this is aliasing, right? So now instead of calling Numpy directly, you will, you have renamed it actually as the NP. So now NP is the name, right? And now I'm going to use a method called np.array. np.array is there, okay? And np.array, I'm giving my data that is in list one. And now the output would be stored, let's say, into X. Guys, please listen, everyone, right? This is this. So this is the way I can convert my data from the list to a, NP array. So this is the way. And now see, a couple of interesting things coming up here. I want to know the type of X. See this, what is the type of X now? This is ND array. What is ND array? N stands for number. D stands for dimension, number of dimensions. So ND array is there. And what was the type here? The type was list. But now we have converted our list into what? An ND array now. We have converted this into an ND array. Okay. Couple of properties here. X dot D type. What is the data type? So see, it is saying that whatever the element you have an X. So if I print the X here, you will see, guys. See this. Print X. If I say print X, see this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I say print list 1, there is a difference, guys. See this. If I'm printing X, you don't see any, a comma in between. But if you are printing the data from the list directly, you see the commas. So, right? So this is ND array and this is the list. There is a clear-cut difference, actually, right? So when I say X.D type, the meaning is that tell me what is the data type of the item that are stored in the ND array. So if you go to the variable explorer and go to the X, see this. These are the values that are stored in X. And there you see it's a Numpy array. It is ND array. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means it is telling you that what is the type of 1 or what is the type of 2 or 3 and 4. And this is the D type. So X.D type, and now it is saying that it is integer 64 by default. Right? So guys, don't call it like this. Mind it. It is not a method. Don't call like it is. Just a property, right? Don't put parentheses after that. Otherwise, you will get error. Right? So this is the case. Right? In couple of machines, it can be int 32, depending on the configuration, you may have a different data type on different machines, right? I say one more thing, guys, again, important, X.ANDIM. It comes out to be 1 number of dimensions, right? I will explain this part as well. And there is one more, X.SHAPE. What is that? 5 comma. Okay, what is the meaning here? See, guys, let's see this part. If your data is like this, please look at the screen, guys. If your data is like this, that you have a data vertical, so you have 1 column and your data is like this, right? 1 is there, 2 is there, 3 is there, 4 is there, and 5 there. So it has 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, so 5 rows, right? After the comma, we say what is the number of columns, right? So if I say 5 comma 1, that means 5 rows and 1 column. And when you have the rows as well as the columns, this data is 2D. Although you see this as a just 1 column, but if I'm getting 1 here, it says it's a 2D data. Similarly, if you see the data in this format, where you have 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here, it means it has 1 row, but how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So 1 comma 5. So 5 comma 1 representing 5 rows and 1 column. This is called as shape. We call this property as shape, right? And here, if you have the data representation like this, you have 1 row and 5 columns. Again, this is shape, right? If you have data like this in a matrix format, you have data like this, right? Couple of values here, 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 here. In this case, what would be the shape? You can say 3 rows, okay? And how many columns? 3 columns. So how would write the shape? 3 columns, right? Sometimes your data is in this format. Sometimes your data is in this format and you have written like this. Now, if I ask for the shape and shape comes like this, 4 comma, and there is no information about the column, then this data is called 1D data. And similarly, if you have something like this, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the shape comes like, comma 4, kind of, right? Then this is called as 1D. So whenever you talk about the 2D data, whether it's data in 1 column or in 1 row or in 1 matrix form, you will have a count for row and you will have a count for value as well. And that's why 2D data here, 2D data here, and 2D data here. But in case your response, your output is something like that, 4 comma, and there is no value after the comma, that means it is a 1D data, right? And similarly here as well. So guys, did you understand the difference between 1D and 2D? And that's why when I'm doing the X.shape, you can see, guys, you can see 5 comma, that means it is a 1-dimensional data. And if it is 1-dimensional data, I'm getting X.ANDIM as 1. Okay, let me do one thing. Can I change the shape? Yes, I can change the shape. How to do that? X dot reshape. Okay, fine. Make 1 row and 5 columns of my data, right? So far, what you had, right? What you had so far? You had 5 rows, right? You have 5 rows, and there was no value around the column. That means your data was in 1D. But now what I'm doing a reshape now, and I'm saying that convert my data, reshape my data X, right, to what? 1 row and 5 columns. So now see this. And now if you go to the X and see this time you have the row now, right? So this is how, you know. So Chandra Sen Majumdar, please do not go, right? So let me take the list again and do a np.array. Please do not go what you see visually, right? You may find this as a 2D data because it has 5 rows and 1 column. That is the visual representation only. To confirm whether it's a 1D data or a 2D data, you have to go for a method and call this x.shape. This gives you the exact idea, right? Right? So this is, this is the way. Okay, guys, what I'm doing, I'm going to the variable explorer and then double click on this. Double click on this and then you get this screen, pop-up window, right? Sandeep. So this is the case. So what is the philosophy, right? And when you reshape into 1 row and 5 column, now you can easily know that this is going to be a 2D data now. X.shape should be what? 1, 5. Okay, let me do that reshape first. Okay, and now X.shape, right? 1, and now you will see X.endem. It will be 2. X.endem. It comes out to be 2, right? So this is the case, guys, right? Sorry, Dr. Bhamra, we have a limitation around the time. And, I'm sorry for that. I will not be able to take that part. So, that is the case. So I have introduced just one concept around, Numpy. There are a lot of other functions available in the Numpy. What I have told you, that if you have a data in list format, what you have to do first, if you want to do a data analytics or if you want to do machine learning, convert that list to an ND array. And how to do that? For that, we have to use a library called Numpy. What the method we are going to use? np.array. What I'm doing, I'm passing my list one, and then we are converting that into an ND array. And then we have a couple of new terms, dtype and endem and the shape, right? So that's the case here. Okay, now let me change the topic now and let's quickly move on. Let me quickly, right? List is always heterogeneous, but ND array is always, it can have, mixed values as well. But we'll talk about, like, most of the time when you deal with the numeric data, ND array is always homogeneous, right? ND array is always homogeneous. I'll come to that part, Kanchan Mala. We can take that in the discussion part, right? Okay, now I'm coming to interesting stuff, that is visualization. That is visualization. Showing the data in graphical format. And because most of you are from the computer science or mathematics background, right? If you remember from your school days, right? If you remember from your school days, right? Harpreet, it will change. Please follow the instructions. It will change, right? So, if you remember from school days, right? In our school days, what we had, a chart paper was there, right? And to plot anything on that chart paper, we only needed two stuff. What are the values on the x-axis and what are the values on the y-axis, right? If you have the values on the x-axis like this and the corresponding values on the y-axis, right? What you used to do, you used to meet, so that becomes your first coordinate, x from here, y from here, second coordinate, x from here, y from there, third coordinate, so on. So kind of, that was the scattering. And when you used to connect all these dots, you had a plot. Remember, guys, from your school days, there was a chart paper, right? And then if you have the set of X values and set of Y values with you, you can draw that part, right? Similarly happens here in Python as well. Similarly, it happens here in the Python as well, right? Yeah, graph paper was there. So I'm going to take a couple of X values here in the list. Please all, focus. I'm taking 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Similarly, I'm taking a couple of values for y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So X and Y, see this. I take this part, right? And now I'm importing a library. So what library it is? Import matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT. So now the name given to this matplot library is PLT. And now within the PLT, I have a method PLT dot scatter. Guys, very interesting function here. It requires me, give me the set of X values. Okay, I have. Give me the set of values. Okay, I have. And now let's, select this and shift enter. Okay, you have got a map, but I have to go to a new tab. If you are running in your Spider, if it is an older version, you will see the map here, right? You will see the figure here. But for me, I have to go to this plot tab. So I'm going in this plot. Now see this. 1, 1, there is. 2, 2, there is. Right? 3, 3, there is. 4, 4, and 5, 4. So this is the scattering of the points. This is the scattering of the points, right? That is how you can scatter the points here. So Amrit Bhullar is saying, sir, how to remember the names of the libraries? There is no way, Mr. Bhullar, only practice, and if you are in constant touch with something, names are known to you. Class में पहले दिन जाओ, एक दो लोगों के नाम पता चलते हैं, right? And if you continue in the entire semester, you come to know the full names by the end of that semester, right? So that happens here as well. कोई तरीका और नहीं है. Practice will make you, so that is there, right? So using that scatter, you can this. If you want to connect all dots, right? If you want to connect all the dots, right? You can say PLT dot, right? PLT dot plot X comma Y, right? PLT dot X comma Y is there. So let's run it and see this. Here you have a line. Okay, now you have, now you have a hell lot of options here. You can draw this line in a different width, in a different color, in a different style. You can, name the x-axis. You can label the y-axis. You can give the title to this, right? There are a lot of functions available. PLT.title is there. PLT.x label is there. PLT.y label is there, right? Everything is there. And even you can save this figure using which method? PLT.savefig. I think that is the method here. Savefig. And you just need to name, right? Savefig is there. I can get a help here, and I just need to say demo.png, right? So what will happen? This chart, this figure will be saved in my directory with what name? Demo.png, and later on you can share it on your Instagram, right? So this is how you can do that, right? So this is there. I'll take one more example to know the entire details. Matplotlib is such a beautiful library. What you can do, guys, you can go. I think you can go. There is a what is that? I think there is a matplotlib.org probably. Matplotlib.org probably. That is the link you can follow. It has a complete code. Matplotlib. So you can see the entire set of visualizations there, right? So this is, you can do what you can think of in terms of visualization. There is, right? It has a 3D visualization, 4D visualization, right? Everything is there, and you will see a lot of codes here. So tutorials are there, examples are there. You can go on the example side, and you see now how you can draw the line chart, how you can draw the bar chart, how you can draw the markers. There was someone asking the same question, that how how to show the bar chart, I think, right? Someone was right. So this is the case. If you want to save the figure in another directory, just give the path, give the full path there, right? You will have to specify the path here, right? Couple of that, slash and all that, right? So guys, this is the link for you. In your leisure time, you can go to this link and see more details around matplot lib. Is that better? I can take one more example around matplotlib. So let me take that there is a university, right? And it has a couple of departments. So I'll say departments, right? Or I can say a short form. Departments, couple of departments are there. There is one department with the name CSE. There is another department with ECE. There is another department with, let's say, electrical. And there is another department with, let's say, IT, right? And it has a couple of faculties in every department. It has a couple of faculties, right? So I can say faculty count. So I say a variable, and corresponding to CSE, let's say I have, because CSE is the kind of more popular branch nowadays in almost every university. So 15 faculty members from, CSE, let's say 10 from ECE, 5 from electrical, and IT, 12 people are there in IT, right? And now I want to show the faculty distribution in a pie chart fashion. I want to show the faculty distribution, right? In a pie chart fashion, how I can do that. So I'm going to take the department and the faculty count. So let me correct it. It has to be faculty count, right? So I have taken the data in the to list. And one thing I can do is I can call a method plt.py, which requires me a couple of, now you can see hell lot of information can be given here. But what my data is in faculty count. So I'm going to take faculty count, right? Faculty count, okay. And what is the department names here? So I have to say labels. So labels is equal to department. So label, like kind of, how I would label it, like, so you will see the things here happening soon. So guys, let's call the plt.py and let's see if it works. Let me set. So I think it is a label or so. That is there. Oh, got an unexpected error. So let me check with the documentation if there is anything wrong here. We'll just see. So I think oh, I was wrong here. One was labels here. Okay, plt.py should be there. Check that part. Oh yeah, it's done. So there was some typo issue. So now we are here. So here we have a beautiful, right, case here, guys. Can you see it? What I have taken to draw a pie chart, only two pieces of information. So one thing, the department that would be used to label the, the slice, pie slice here, right? So this slice belongs to CSE. So 15 belongs to CSE, right? This belongs to IT, this belongs to electrical, and this belongs to, EC. And I can show the numbers as well. There are a lot of variations around the pie chart, but I'm just giving you an idea that you cannot remember everything. As a student, as a faculty, you can't remember everything. You will have to take, help from the documentation, right? You will have to take it from, what you say, you will have to take it from, sometimes from Stack Overflow, kind of that, right? And I don't know, Sarfaraz Mashood had said me that can we draw it from a dictionary? Sarfaraz is saying कि क्या हम ये same information, मतलब same graph एक dictionary से दिखा सकते हैं क्या? Maybe I think we can try with that if that works. So let me try with that part. So if you want to make a dictionary of that, so how you will say dict1, and how you will say, let me check with that part. I'm just making a try. I'm yet to check with this. So what was the department name? CSE was there. Okay. And what was the count of faculties? The 15 was there, right? That becomes my first. Then EC was there, and then the TAN was there, right? And then electrical was there, and then faculty count was 5 there, and then IT was there, and then I think the number was 12 here, right? So I think that was there. So that can be represented as a dictionary, but we need to check if we can, what's wrong here? Dict one, invalid syntax, dict one. So check that part. So you have the dict one ready, right? And now what you can do, you have this method, right? To get a faculty count list, can we do something like dict one dot values? Can we do something like that? Let me check if that is possible. And labels can be the keys, right? So how we can do that? Dict one dot keys. So let me try with that. If we are successful in that, the values as well, right? So let me check that part. That is there. Yes, we are able to do that. And now so guys, can you hear me? I was disconnected. I was disconnected, right? Can you hear me now? Is the screen visible to you? Abhay Kale sir. Okay, cool. Okay, okay. Sorry for that glitch. Sometimes it happens. Okay. So now this way, I was telling you example that using the dictionary part, you can, so as long as, you can't remember, you know, you can't remember everything, right? The practice makes you, things, there as such, right? And this is how you can do that. And now let's go for another part now. And this time it is going to be again a very interesting part as well, right? So let me go back. So let me clear everything. So I'm just writing a clear command here. It will clear everything from this part. So clear console for me. Dr. Anil Sarolia, I think can you please check if the voice is okay now with you? Guys, is voice clear with you all? Can you please confirm? And then we can finish off with the rest of the discussion for today. Today we'll finish off on the time, right? Yesterday it was little extended, but okay, cool. Thank you. So now I'm going to play around with the Pandas library now. A very important library, right? It is the most powerful library, right? It is the most powerful library, you know. And if you are familiar with the SQL, you know, learning Python becomes too easy. And if you are new to SQL, it's not like that you can't understand. You can get it very well, right? But sometimes, you know, writing complex piece of code using Pandas, if you have a good idea around SQL, structured query language kind of stuff, things are a little, you know, smooth in that case. The learning curve is, you know, smooth in that case. Okay, so what I told you in the beginning, right, that Pandas is used for loading the data, right? Pandas is used for loading the data. So how to do that? How to read the data? So what I will do now, for explanation purpose, I'm going to give you a data. So there is a data. So I click on salaries.csv. So there you can see there is a salaries.csv. There is a file. CSV stands for comma separated values. Comma separated values. And there you see, basically this data belongs to a university somewhere in the US. This data belongs to a university, and that university has obviously, you know, lots of, you know, faculty members, right? And this data is all about those details, those faculty details. What are the details we have, you know? So this data is all about the faculties and what we have in the details. The first column tells you the rank of the faculty, whether the faculty is a professor or assistant professor or associate professor. The second column gives you the department name, right? And they have been renamed like A and B only, you know. Then how many years, right? How many years after the PhD? So let's say this is the first faculty member, right? So that guy is professor on the rank. He belongs to department B, has completed 56 years after the PhD, very long time, 49 years into the service. Gender is male, and the salary is this, right? And then we have another faculty who's professor, belongs to department A, 12 years after PhD, 6 years into the job, right, in the service. Gender is male, and the salary is this. So you can take, you know, a couple of, you know, examples, and every row corresponds to an individual professor. Every row, you know, belongs to, you know, a professor data there, right? Associate professor there belongs to department B, you know, 19 years into PhD, 6 years from, you know, into the job, a female category, and the salary is this. Guys, did you understand the data, that what the CSV file is representing, what the CSV file, you know, giving you information, what kind of information it has, right? Yeah. Okay. Now we want to load this data. We want to read this data in our Python so we can do a couple of activities around it, right? So first, if you want to do something on this data, you have to read this data. And for that, you have to use Pandas, right? Generally, if you want a data set for your purpose, you can get this kind of data from UCI repository, right? You can get this kind of data from UCI repository. There is a public repository from University of California, Irvine. UCI repository is there. You can get this kind of data from Kaggle as well, right? So a lot of sites are there, right? And we have got this data from UCI repository. This data is available in the Google Drive with you guys. This data is available in the Google Drive with you, right? So now I'm going to import the Pandas. How to do that? Import Pandas as PD, right? So I'm importing this. Okay. Now how to read the data file? So for that, we are going to call our read underscore CSV method, and the method requires the name of the file. So this is salaries.csv. And once it reads, it will assign that data to some variable. So I assign this data to df is equal to read CSV. So this is the data, guys. We have this. We have got it, right? And now we got in the variable explorer. And there you see a entry for df. Do you see it somewhere? Oh, here it is. And currently, if you look at this, the data type is coming data frame. I will explain it. And the size is coming 78,6. So it is saying that data has 78 rows and 6 columns. It has got 78 rows and 6 columns, right? So this is how you double click on this, and there you see the data, right? There you see the data, right? And now this index was not part of the actual data. This index is the property of the data frame. The tabular data that you see after reading from the pandas is called as data frame. Guys, I'm explaining you that what the data frame is. It is the most, used term in machine learning. Most used term in machine learning. What is the data frame? A tabular data that you see after reading the data using read CSV, using pandas, right? The actual data is this, but index is added, right? Yes, we can import our own Excel data. We can read it from remote location. Pandas has a lot of methods, right? And if your data file is somewhere else, you can specify the path, right? We can specify the path as well, right? We can do that part. So guys, the index has been added by the pandas, right? This is not the part of actual data. Actual data is here: rank column, discipline column, PhD column, service column, sex column, and salary column. And now guys, remember one thing. If you look at the data, closely, you see a one value here, nan. And nan stands for not a number. What is the meaning here? That means your CSV file has no information about the salary for this candidate, the candidate who is at row 7. This is known as missing value. That means your CSV has no data. And if you look back at the CSV file, you see there, right? You see there. You have this professor, you have this department, you have this PhD, you have this service, you have this gender, but the salary data is missing. And that's why when we are clicking on the data frame, you see the missing value here. NaN, not a number. In general, we call this value as a missing value. So guys, did you understand what the missing values are in case of data frame? Please respond. Okay, cool. Right. That's good. Thank you. Right. Now, I know what the data frame is. Tabular data is data frame, right? Tabular data is data frame. And I can know a couple of things around that. Data, let me know the type of data frame. DF gives you the data frame. If you want the initial, 5 rows from the data, so maybe you can go there and print the entire DF. See there. No, Subhashis, Pandas is already installed in the Spider, right? Pandas is, right? No, you can have anything, CSV, you can have Excel, right? Still Excel will also make your, data as a data frame, right? So when you say DF, it prints the entire data, right? But you can say df.head. It will only print the first 5 rows, right? It will only print the first 5 rows. So let me reduce the size a little bit. See the guys, right? The CSV file is in the directory. CSV file is in your Google Drive. So there is a link for the Google Drive, guys. I'm sharing it in your chat window. So let me share this in the chat window. Right? So this is in the chat. So you can go there and download this file from there for your use. If you want to know the last 5 rows, df.had is there. You have a df.had. So you have the last rows, right? Okay, guys, now listen. If I want to know that what is the shape of my data frame, df.shape, it will give you the rows, you know. So 78 rows and 6 columns you have, right? df.enddim, it says your data is tabular. It's a 2-dimensional data, right? So you have enddim too. We know shape, we know enddim from the Numpy discussion, guys, if you remember, right? So what I was saying, okay, I used it. So df.had, I'm repeating again, guys. df.had gives you the initial 5 rows, and the df.tail will give you the last 5 rows. So df.tail. So I used had 2 times actually, right? Sorry for that. df.shape gives you the number of rows or columns your data has, right? df.enddim, right? It gives you number of dimensions your data has, right? When you print df, guys, all remember, right? So when you print df, it prints the index as well. If you're only interested in the data, not index, then you have to go for df.values. Mind it, what I'm saying, guys. If you're only going to, focus on the actual data, because index was added by the pandas, if you're only looking for the payload, what method you are going to call? df.values. df.values. This time you see there is no index. This is the first row you get it, right? Professor, department B, 56 years, 49 years, male, and salary is this. df.values. And if you look at the type of the df.values, this is ND array from our Numpy discussion, guys. Guys, is that clear? Because ND array will, come into a lot of discussions in the, future sessions as well. What I was telling you one concept. Please focus here on the screen. That when you read the data using, read CSV method, you get data in a tabular format. The data is data frame, right? And your data, your actual data is this only. And your indexes are here, 1, 2, 3 kind of indexes, right? If you're only looking for actual data, what you will have to say, df.values. That's it. And this is basically ND array. So complete one is data frame, but only this data is ND array, right? So we got the ND array. Now guys, see. If you are looking for a one column only, that I don't want all the columns in my data in the output, how I can say the data frame name, a square bracket, and now let's say I say rank. Meaning is this, that I'm not interested in the entire data frame. I'm only interested in which column? Rank column. So see this, guys, you will only get the values from the rank column, right? Similarly, can I get the values from the salary? Yes, I can say salaries. So, that is the case here, salaries, right? So let's see. Oh, salaries is not there. S is capital, I think. So, let me check with the data frame. What is the key there? I can come to know with df.d types. There is one more method I can come to know. Salary. Oh, it's not salaries, it's not salary only. So I just need to change it to salary. This time we'll only get the values from salary, right? I can specify both in one line. So I need to make a list inside that. And now I can say after the comma salary. So this time it will give me the 2 columns in the output. See this, rank and salary, right? So list within the list, right? See this, guys. And now I have one more method, ilock. Guys, please all focus, ilock. What is the meaning? Which row you want. So let's say I want 10th row, right? Which column data you want? I want rank column data, let's say. Where is my data frame? Rank column. So I want 10th row data, rank column and discipline. I want, let's say, rank column and discipline, right? And PhD up to. So first 3 column data I want. So how I can write 10, this will represent the row index, comma, I have to specify the column index. So let's start from the 0 and go up to 3. So this is saying that start from column 0, then take 1, then take column 2. 3 is excluded. So now see what the output we get in the guys. We got that at index 10, you have professor, belongs to department V, and the PhD is 39 years. Okay, I can see the range here as well. I can say start from index 0, go up to row 9. So it will take first 10 rows starting from index 0 to 9. And similarly, we are going to select the column. So guys, how to use iloc method? I'm talking about that. iloc method is used when you need the partial data from your data frame. You are not interested in the entire data. You are only looking for the partial data. You have to use iloc method. Okay. What is the iloc method about? iloc method tells you that before comma specify the row indexes, after the comma specify the column indexes, and you are done. And this is similar to the indexing concept what we did yesterday. So that means row selection, right? And the column selection. So you can take that part. So now you can see you started from 0 and then up to 9, and then you are taking rank, you are taking discipline, you are taking PhD, right? And if your rows are not in sequence, your columns are not in sequence, what you can say? You can say df.iloc, okay? You have an outer square bracket, then you have a comma. Before comma, you specify the row indexes, but they are not in sequence, so make another list. After the comma, they are not in sequence again, so make another list. This time, let's say you are interested in index 0, index 4, and index 10. So it will take only 3 rows. Which 3 rows? Index 0, index 4, and index 10. And similarly, you can specify here 2, 3. So now you will see those values only, right? So that you can do. So you can play around with the iloc method, right? Now, one more case, guys. I'm taking the last example for pandas now. I'm taking the last example, and this is important actually. When you deal with machine learning, when you deal with deep learning, right? When you deal with machine learning, when you deal with deep learning, you will use iloc method lot of times, right? You will use df.values lot of times. And also one more discussion that when you look at the data frame, your data has a couple of missing values. Yes, Subhashis, we can give that, that part. So when you look at the data frame, your data has a couple of missing values. If your data is small, right? If your data is small, right? I can easily go through this and visually I can see that yes, it has missing value here, it has missing value here. But what if your data frame has 1 lakh rows? Will it be easy for you to look at visually and see, okay, here we get the missing, here we get the missing? No, you can't do that. For that, you have to have a command. So what is that command, guys? Like, look at this. df dot is null, okay, dot any axis is equal to 0. Guys, mind it. What is the meaning? That use data frame, right? Look for null values if they have a null value, right? And dot any, and the any I'm specifying x is 0. That means column wise give me the detail that which column has missing value and which column has no missing value. So when I say axis is equal to 0, it is asking the data frame that column wise check if any column has missing value. I'm not interested in the rows right now. Any row can have missing value, right? Any row can have missing value, but give me true or false answer whether this index, whether this column has missing value or not. So let's run this, guys. And now when I run this, it says rank column is false. That means it has no missing value. False means no missing value. Discipline column, false. It has no missing value. PSD column, true. That means it has missing value, but I don't know which row has missing value in this column. Similarly, service column, false, no missing value. Sex column, false, no missing value. Salary column, true. That means it has missing value. So out of this entire data frame, only two columns are there, PSD column and salary column, which has the missing values, right? But I don't know which row has the missing value. And for that purpose, what I can do, I can just copy this and paste it and make the access to 1. So this time we are going to make a check row wise. So now we will get every row wise. So it says that your first row is false. That means no missing value here. Second row false. It means no missing value here, right? And kind of that, right? If you want the exact data, exact row in which you have the missing values, you have to pick this and pass this true false list into the data frame again, right? And see guys, this time you get a value, set of values, right? So this time you get set of values. See this. That means in your entire data, row 7 has a missing value. There you see a missing value in the salary column. Row number 13 has a missing value. There you see missing value in the PSD column. Row number 28 has a missing value. There you see the missing value in the salary column. And row number 34 has, right, a missing value which is at PSD column. So when I say access 0, it will give you a column wise data for missing. When I say access is equal to 1, it will give you a row wise. And when I pass this indexing, that is known as Boolean indexing, to a data frame, it will give me the actual data, that this is the data where you have the missing values. Guys, did you get this concept? And this is what that was the last discussion we had for today. So Kunal Anand saying yes. Dr. Vandana, maybe we can take it tomorrow, I think, or maybe you can just go to the uploaded video and just quickly, you know, go to the last section of the video. You will get a explanation around that. Sometimes, you know, there are so many things, Dr. Vandana, right? And it is very normal that you miss 10 or 20% what we are discussing, right? It is very, very normal, right? So when say axis 0, you're talking about column wise data. When axis is 1, you're talking about row wise data. Very spaliwa. So guys, before I take a couple of questions from you, right? When I take a couple of questions from you, I want a feedback from you guys. How was the session for you today? Was it fruitful? Was it a value addition to your knowledge, right? Or was it just a कोरी ज्ञानबाजी, no practical, सिर्फ ज्ञानबाजी चल गई, पीपीटी चल गया, और जयराम जी की हो गई, चाय नाश्ता चल गया, फोटोबाजी हो गई? So a lot of people saying, okay. Okay, so a lot of people, so even I can't read them, read loud, right? Okay, so yeah, you need to practice, definitely you need to practice, right? And yeah, sessions are heavy sometimes, right? But मेरी कोशिश रहती है कि आप सोए नहीं. I try to keep it. जैसे मूवी में जैसे आइटम सॉन्ग आता है तो सब लोग जाग जाते हैं हॉल में सोते हुए. So वैसा ही कुछ कोशिश करता हूँ कि आप सभी लोग सोए नहीं, right? And I pardon people from the south, they may not understand my Hindi. So and I have no English translation for that. So so the video would be uploaded on the YouTube as well, right? A video would be uploaded. So Chandra saying that I have not slept. Okay, the excellent way that you represent is the Deepthi Dash. Okay. So, okay, so a lot of people saying, okay, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for your time as well, right? Because आपके बिना तो नहीं हो सकता ना, मैं भले कितना ही ब्ला ब्ला करूं, अगर आप लोग नहीं सुनोगे तो फिर क्या होगा, कुछ भी नहीं होगा ना. So thanks for your time as well, right? Amit Hirawat from Amity University, Amit sir, saying like the Divyastra example. Okay, okay, okay. So you have a so guys, what you can do for today, you can go into the day1.txt file. This file is uploaded in the drive, and in the last there is a code challenge given to you. There is a code challenge given to you guys, right? And please go through this code challenge. Go through this assignment. This code challenge is actually assignment, right? And then please try to submit. Dr. Bhamra saying, sir, even your laughing note is also cool. Okay, thank you, Dr. Z.S. Bhamra. Vibhu Prashad Sahu is saying, sir, mind-blown teaching experience you have. Awesome. Thank you, Vibhu. Okay, so Prateek Butchke is saying, sir, can we have some data set? So this data set is good enough for practice, Prateek, right now. And this data set is available in the Google Drive. I've already shared the link. But if you need more, right, you can go to the UCI repository and, you can go to there and check for more details, right? So Parul Saxena ma'am, you will see the assignment in day1.txt file. This file is available on the, this file is available on the Google Drive. One of the most interesting questions someone has asked me, let me discuss with all of you guys. Very interesting. And I think she was Neha, I think, right? Neha is saying, sir, are there any other tools through which we can do the data analytics, right? This file would be uploaded soon on the Google Drive, guys, right? I will do that. So there are other tools as well. Using Pandas, using Numpy, using Matplotlib, you have to write the code in Python, then only you can perform the data analytics. But you can use Microsoft Power BI. This is the tool, drag and drop tool, right? You can use Microsoft Power BI, one of the most used tool nowadays for non-coders. You don't have to write any code, right? Another tool that is heavily used is Tableau, right? Tableau is there. And Tableau has recently acquired by Salesforce. It is a company with the name Salesforce, right? It has been acquired by Tableau. Earlier, there was one more tool as well, ClickView, right? ClickView was one more tool. There was a ClickView kind of, right? Earlier, Tableau was open source, but now it has been acquired by Salesforce. I don't think so it is anymore, but right now, Power BI is heavily used, right? Tableau is also used, ClickView is also used. There are a couple of tools as well. You can use IBM Watson as well for data analytics purpose. You can use Databricks for data analytics purpose. There are a lot of tools available, right? People use SAS tools as well, right? So almost every big company has a data analytics tool, right? Dr. Bhamra saying Horizon Pro. I don't know about this, Dr. Bhamra, but thanks for your suggestion. Horizon Pro can also be used. Thank you. So this is, there are a lot of examples. You Google and you will find, right. So Gagan Kaur is saying, sir, how Python is better than R? So let me answer this question. Let me answer this question. I think I should answer this question, that why, and guys, if you have not got the answer of your question, you can WhatsApp your question to Sandeep and Mohit. They are available for you, right? it is very normal that I may miss couple of questions because there are so many questions, and they, the speed of questions coming into me, it is very high sometimes, right? And then I miss some of them, right? So let me tell you, what is the comparison between R programming and Python? So if you use R, you can only do data analytics. You can only use it to ML, right? And if you are using AWS cloud, even you have no access to R tools, no access to R tools on the AWS, right? But if you are using Python, you can use that into data analytics. You can use into ML, you can use into DL, you can use in automation, right? You can use into web development also. You can develop the backend development. Server side programming कर सकते हैं इससे. You have couple of libraries. Django is there, right? Django. It is J actually, or Flask. So Python is more, a general, purpose programming. R is very specific to that, and that's why I would suggest please go with, Python, not with R. पाइथन का भी मैं एजेंट नहीं हूं और आर का भी मैं दुश्मन नहीं हूं, बट जो इंडस्ट्री में चल रहा है मैं उसके बारे में बता रहा हूं. Okay guys, I have a simple request to you as well. Okay, your attendance goes through Zoom only. जैसे ही आपने Zoom पे login किया, your attendance is marked, right? So
right? we also capture the number of minutes they are logged in, sir.
Even हमें ये भी पता चलता है कि आपने कितनी देर सेशन अटेंड किया था. We have that kind of analytics as well. आपने किस टाइम पे लॉग इन किया, किस टाइम पे लीव किया, कितनी देर आप सेशन में बने रहे. We have every detail with us. वो सारा का सारा डेटा हमें एक्सेल में मिलता है, राइट? बट प्लीज मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, सिर्फ अटेंडेंस के लिए सेशन अटेंड ना करें. अगर आप सीखना चाहते हैं तो सेशन अटेंड करें. सर्टिफिकेट तो आपको फेसबुक गूगल का भी मिल जाएगा. फोटोशॉप पड़ी है, 2 मिनट का टाइम लगता है. आप किसी भी बच्चे को जो आपके अंडर में पीएचडी कर रहा हो, आपके यहाँ एमटेक कर रहा हो, आपके यहाँ बीटेक कर रहा हो, उसको बोल दो कि भैया कल तक मुझे सर्टिफिकेट चाहिए. पर मुझे मालूम है एज ए फैकल्टी मेंबर आप कभी भी ऐसा नहीं करेंगे, राइट? इसीलिए सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि ज्वाइन करें तो सीखने के लिए करें, राइट? ज्वाइन करें तो सीखने के लिए करें. फॉस्ट कोई गूगल या फेसबुक नहीं है जिसकी सर्टिफिकेट की बहुत ज्यादा वैल्यू होगी. आप दिखा दो कि अरे फॉस्ट से लेके आओ. हम अभी स्टार्टअप कंपनीज हैं, राइट? आपको बताना पड़ेगा कि देखो साहब मैं फॉस्ट में अटेंड करके आया था, आप नहीं जानते उनके बारे में, मैं बताता हूं उनका प्रोग्राम कैसा था, राइट? तो आपको बोलना पड़ेगा सर्टिफिकेट के साथ ये चीज भी, राइट? So anyway, thanks for your time guys. I have a request to everyone, right? I have a request with everyone that if you are liking our program, please write a review on the Google for us. Please write a review on the Google for us, right? You can write anything. आप उसको अच्छा लगा अच्छा लिखे, आपको बुरा लगा बुरा लिखिए, जैसा आपको लग रहा है वैसा लिखिए. वहां पे रेटिंग के साथ साथ कुछ शब्द भी लिखें कि आपको सेशन क्यों अच्छा या खराब लगा. मैंने लिंक आपको शेयर कर दिया है चैट विंडो में. आप उस पर क्लिक करके प्लीज हैंड टू हैंड अपना रिव्यू वहां पे दे दें. ये आप सभी से रिक्वेस्ट है. आप इसमें मान सकते हैं कि मैं सेल्फिश हो गया हूं अभी, बट प्लीज प्लीज पुट ए रिक्वेस्ट, पुट ए रिव्यू देयर एंड देन वी कैन क्लोज फॉर द डे. Thanks, Atul Kumar ji. Right. So अगर हमें भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनाना है, हमें लोकल के लिए वोकल होना है, तो फॉस्क may replace Coursera, फॉस्क may replace edX. बट पता नहीं, ये तो ज्यादा मतलब ज्यादा बोल गया मैं. हो सकता है फ्यूचर में ऐसा हो जाए. Why to watch the videos from the foreign universities, right? We should have the videos. अभी NPTEL की हालत खराब है, आप उसको Coursera का replacement नहीं मान सकते. So anyway, Python front end में use नहीं होता है माधवन, right? Python या तो automation के लिए front end तो वही HTML, CSS, JavaScript ही होता है, right? माधवन और बधाव बना. आई एम सॉरी, मेरा नाम शायद हो सकता है मैंने नाम गलत तरीके से लिखा हुआ, राइट? सो प्लीज write your review, please write your feedback, right? We take the feedback very seriously. फ्रंट एंड के लिए बधावन जो है वो HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular JS, React JS, ये सब चीजें ही यूज करते हैं लोग, राइट? थैंक यू सौर्या गुप्ता बोल रहे हैं सर मैंने रिव्यू लिख दिया है. जैमला झा सिंह सर, ओके. पूर्वा वैष्णव सिंह, आई हैव ऑलरेडी डन, थैंक्स. ओके. सो if you have any other questions, Dr. Sylvester is there, I'll be right back, right?
Guys, there's a small request to everybody. I have put up a request on your Zoom chat. If you people can accept that, you'll get a platform for discussions over that. So I would request each and everybody that if they have received a request on Zoom contacts, please accept that. And there are some questions coming in, so let me start answering that. Ambuj Sharma is asking from Ghaziabad, what is the difference in Ruby and Python? Ambuj, Ruby and Python both are different languages from different mothers, okay, different companies, and both are required as a scripting language on the backend. So if you want to make a web application using Ruby, you can do that also, and if you want to create a web application using Python, you can do that also, okay. मोनिका सैनी is asking, सर pandas में एक्सेल फाइल को रीड करने के लिए क्या कोड होगा? Monica, I don't remember the exact function name, but I think it is read underscore XLS. Okay, you can Google and find. Okay, or you can check the documentation for that, because I don't personally remember each and every function. So whenever we require, we just use one of the mechanism of documentation to find that. Is this okay, Monica? Poonam Yadav is asking today's assignment. Poonam, you can refer to the day one file, yesterday's file, and in the end you have an assignment. You can use that. Okay. There is no supermarket, Vishwanath. You need to create a solution by the name of supermarket.py file. Vishwanath, you need to create a file by the name of supermarket.py and submit to us. Is it okay? Just download the file, Anjali, or take help from Sandeep or Mohit. They'll help you out. Vishwanath, I would request that if you can read the question carefully, all the details are being given in that, Vishwanath. That's code challenge or assignment is self-explanatory. Pranjal from Guwahati is asking, sir, how to submit the assignment? Pranjal, if you go to a Google Drive, there is a file by the name of announcement.txt. Open that file, and within that file, you'll see an instruction to submit the assignment. There's a URL for that. Follow the URL. It's a Google form. Fill all the details and upload your file. Is it okay, Pranjal? Vipul Gohil asks you output in terms of matrix of Vipul, I won't be able to answer your question because we don't have expertise in MATLAB programs. Okay. If you can ask questions on Python, I would be happy to answer that, Vipul. Raksha Tomar, we don't need, the assignment is there in day one file, Raksha. Vishwanath, it's an announcement to everybody. Please go to the Google Drive. You'll find a file by the name of announcement.txt. Open that file. Within that, you'll get a link for submission of your assignment. Open that as URL. You'll get a Google form. Follow the instructions. Is it okay, Vishwanath? Raksha, if you have missed something, I would request that after a few hours, I'll be uploading the videos on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to our channel so that you get a notification whenever the videos are being uploaded. Is it okay, Raksha? Good. Do you have any questions you can put on my chat, guys? Parikha Chawla has asked why the length is considered from 0 to 2 in 0:3. Parikha, that's the way it has been documented and the developers has designed in the same way. Okay. When you give a start and the end index, it always excludes the end index. Okay. This is the way it has been designed, Parikha. Did you get it? Priya Pinder Kaur is asking, if I calculate the area of image and I want to submit all the values of image, that is the area of image into CSV. Yes, Priya, there is a library by the name of CSV. CSV is the library module name. You can download that and you can use that for creating of a CSV file. Is it okay, Priya? You can, if you want, you can create different CSV file, Priya, for your 5 images. But I would request that if you're reading an image, use your Numpy array. That or there is one more library, Priya, you can check for that PIL, Pillow library. You can also check the Pillow library, PIL, Pillow library. It's also a beautiful library for doing some image manipulation. Did you get, Priya? Yes, Vishwanath, the code challenge needs to be submitted as assignment 1.
Kunal, if you want to submit the assignment, right, what you have to do, right? Okay, so I'm just, repeating that how you can submit your assignments. I'm just repeating that how you can submit your assignments. The assignment submission will happen through Google form, right? And for that, I'm sharing you a link, right? If you click on that link, right? So let me share you the link first. So this is the link, right? And now I'm going to open the same link on my machine as well, right? So I open it. So this is how I paste it in the browser. The same you have to do. And this form would be visible to you, right? It asks you for a couple of details, email address, right? And then, other details. And then you have to choose which assignment you want to submit. So let's say you want to submit the assignment 1. So click on this. After that, you have an option to upload the file in which you have completed your assignment. So you should have a .py file, right? So you will have to upload that py file by clicking here on the add file button. So add file, select files from your device and there, right? So let's say you want to upload this .py file, right? So select this file, open it, and now there is an option to upload this file. This file has come here and then upload, right? So this way you can upload the assignment and you will see the name here, right? And once this is done, finally you need to submit this. So you have to click on this button, right? So this is the process that how you can submit your assignments, how you can upload your assignments. Is that clear to everyone now? That how you can submit your assignments? Sarabjit? Okay, good. So if people have no question, or if I missed or Sylvester has missed a question from someone, you please post that question again, right? So that we can take it now. And if there is no question, we can close for the session, right? And we'll see tomorrow at 4 p.m. again. That would be the date.
Monica Seni is asking, sir, where is the assignment? So can you show on the screen the
Okay,
day
so Monica, what you have to do now, I shared you the drive link as well, right? Right? I shared you the a drive link as well, right? So what was the drive link? If you go there, I have this was the drive link, right? So the drive link, let's open that drive. The link I have shared with you. Right? This is the drive link. It has all the files and everything is there, right? You can see the CSV files here, text file is there, right? Everything is there, right? Even salaries.csv, the file we were discussing today is there, right? And if you click on this, day one, right? Click on this, right? Day one.txt, go at the last. And at the last, you will see the code challenge, right? This is the code challenge you have to submit. Is that clear now? Who was asking?
Monica.
Okay, so Monica, is that clear?
This
is the assignment 1 only. Yesterday we skipped the assignment because this assignment requires knowledge around dictionary as well, and dictionary was not completed yesterday. So this is the assignment 1 now. Vidya. Okay, Sarfaraz is saying, sir, matplotlib is a library. Then what is pyplot? Matplotlib has a lot of, modules. The module which is responsible for visualization is pyplot. And that's why we did an import like matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So pyplot has that features that we are using, right?
They can also be called as submodules.
Yeah. So Dr. G.S. Bhamra says I've already submitted. I think he's very excited. G.S. Bhamra. किस कॉलेज से हैं भामरा सर? आप किस कॉलेज से हैं? Where you come from? CRSU जींद, ओ जींद मतलब हरियाणा है, ओके। ठीक है, so any other questions guys from your side, otherwise we can close for the day. Video would be available soon on the YouTube channel. Please go there and subscribe to our uh, channel Fast Coding School. Yes, Savendra, Jesse, yes, we can use recursion in Python. So if you want to do something, repetitively, either you have to use recursion or either you have to use looping, right? So recursion is also possible in Python, right? in the future, you will have languages the languages are called functional languages, functional programming languages. Functional programming languages has no looping mechanism, only recursion is there. So there is a language called Erlang, Savendra Jesse, Erlang, ERLANG. That is fully, functional language. It has no concept of looping, no while, no for, only recursion works there. Right?
Monica and Raksha is asking, where is the assignment file, sir?
Okay. So assignment file is available in the Google Drive, right? The link that we have shared you. And for to get the assignment, you have to click on this day1.txt. Go
So
at the
I think so
last.
people are getting confused that there is a separate file as assignment.txt. That's not the case, Raksha and Monica.
There is
You
no
need to go to
separate
the
file.
day_1.txt file. And if you scroll below, at the end, you'll find
भावना, असाइनमेंट सबमिशन का एक गूगल फॉर्म है, राइट? गूगल फॉर्म का जो लिंक है वो आपको शेयर कर दिया गया है चैट विंडो में भी, मैंने अभी जस्ट शेयर किया था। तो आप उस लिंक पर क्लिक करेंगे तो कुछ डिटेल्स के साथ वो आपको फाइल अपलोड करने को कहेगा, राइट? फाइल अपलोड करते ही आपका असाइनमेंट सबमिट हो जाएगा। भावना, okay, let me share the link again with you. अपलोड का लिंक भावना ये है। सो गाइस देखिए, दो लिंक शेयर कर रहा हूँ मैं। So this is the link where you can submit your assignments, right? And the second link that I'm going to share with you is the link which is a Google Drive link. Entire training contents are available there, right? Entire training contents are available there, right? So there are the two links shared with everyone now. Bhavna, is that clear now? Someone from Khalsa College, चमकौर साहिब, ओके, राइट, वहां से भी एक सवाल था उनका। थैंक यू, वेलकम। तो आज का सेशन खत्म करें, अगर आपके पास कोई सवाल नहीं है तो नाउ वी कैन क्लोज इट टुडे। We'll be there on day 3 tomorrow. We starting the machine learning part tomorrow. Thank you, Aga sir. Thank you, Pooja Jha. This time people from all over the India are joining this RDP. Bhavna, what is your question? Thank you, Mir Sulani. तुम कोड चैलेंज की बात कर रहे हो, असाइनमेंट की बात कर रहे हो भावना? हाँ, वो असाइनमेंट तो गूगल ड्राइव में पड़ा हुआ है। गूगल ड्राइव के अंदर एक फाइल है day1.txt, उसके लास्ट में मिल जाएगा भावना। Thank you, Pooja. Day underscore one dot txt. So Vendra Jaising saying, sir, thank you so much. The way of presentation is very much interesting, enjoyable to learn. Thank you, Suven. Thank you that you liked it. We are happy. Jatinder Kaur saying, I appreciate the patience level of you people. Thank you. Thanks for your kind words. Thank you. Yeah, Dr.
I,
Hamza, thank you.
I think so. When we teach a faculty where
Your
I
voice is breaking, Sylvester sir. Your voice is breaking. Umesh Tanwar saying nice
have
and
got a low.
very direct. Yeah, thank you, Umesh. Yeah, Sylvester sir, कुछ कह रहे थे आप?
My network is weak. That's why it's a problem.
अभी
I was
थोड़ा
saying,
ठीक आया.
yeah. I think so. I was telling we need to keep our patience level high to teach faculties in the range of 500 people who are joining us.
सभी लोगों के अपने अपने माइंडसेट होते हैं और 400-500 लोगों को सेशन में बांध के रखना डेफिनेटली एक चैलेंजिंग रहता है. But anyway, we try to keep that. चलिए, bye-bye for the day and we are closing it now, right? Yeah. Thank you, Amritanshu.